The courtroom was packed that morning, murmurs echoing off the walls, the air thick with judgment and disbelief. All eyes were on one man, Ethan Cole, a single dad, former Marine, and janitor who stood trembling before the judge. His uniform was simple, his boots scuffed, and the medals pinned on his chest were dull but full of history. But to most people in that room, they looked fake. "Mr. Cole," Judge Harrison said, leaning back in his chair, voice laced with sarcasm. "You expect me to believe you, a janitor, earned these medals? Come on, you can't even afford a decent lawyer." The courtroom snickered. Ethan's little boy, Liam, sitting in the front row clutching his toy soldier, looked around in confusion. "Daddy, why are they laughing?" he whispered. Ethan smiled faintly, hiding his pain. "It's okay, buddy. They don't understand." The judge rolled his eyes. "These so-called service medals, Silver Star, Purple Heart, do you even know what they mean, Mr. Cole? Because people like you buy them online to look heroic." The words sliced deeper than any wound Ethan had taken in battle. He had served his country with honor, lost brothers, bled for the flag, and came home to raise a son alone after losing his wife in a car crash. And now, the same country he fought for, didn't even believe him. Liam's eyes welled up. "Daddy's a hero," he shouted. The courtroom burst into laughter again, until the judge banged his gavel. "Enough, Mr. Cole. Either provide proof of your service, or stop wasting this court's time." Ethan lowered his head. His military records had burned in a storage fire years ago. He had tried for months to get replacements, but bureaucracy moved slower than his grief. "Your Honor," he said softly, "those medals aren't for show. I earned every one of them. I just want custody of my son. That's all." The judge smirked. "Custody? You can't even prove you served. You're a janitor with a fake story. I'm inclined to rule in favor of your ex-wife's parents." Ethan's knuckles whitened. His late wife's parents had money, lawyers, and influence. They said Liam would have a better life with them, but Ethan knew they only wanted control, not love. Just then, the courtroom doors opened. Heavy boots clicked on the marble floor. The murmurs stopped. A man in full dress uniform, chest glittering with stars, walked in. His presence commanded silence. Every soldier in that room instinctively straightened. It was General Marcus Steele, a living legend. The judge frowned. "Sir, this is a private." The general cut him off. "I know exactly what this is, Judge Harrison." His voice thundered with authority. "And you should be ashamed." He turned to Ethan and saluted. "At ease, Sergeant Major Cole." The entire courtroom froze. The judge blinked. "Sergeant Major." "Yes," the general said firmly. "This man led my unit in Kandahar. Saved 12 of my soldiers, including me. He carried men out of fire while bleeding himself. Those medals you just mocked. I personally pinned 2 of them on his chest." The room fell silent. The general turned to the judge. "You mocked a war hero because of his clothes. Because of his job. This man mops floors now not because he failed, but because he gave everything for this country and asked for nothing in return." The judge's face went pale. "General, I had no idea." "Of course you didn't," the general snapped. "Because you never looked past his boots." Liam's eyes widened in awe. "You know my daddy." The general smiled gently. "Kid, your dad's a hero to heroes." He knelt, placing one of his own stars into Liam's little hand. "Keep this, son. Your dad earned it 100 times over." Tears streamed down Ethan's face as he knelt beside his boy. "Thank you, sir," he whispered. The general turned back to the court. "If this man can survive hell for this country, he can raise his own son." Case closed. The judge stammered, fumbling his gavel. "Custody granted to Mr. Cole," he said quickly. "And, I apologize, Sergeant Major." Ethan just nodded, not in anger but in quiet dignity. "Apology accepted, sir." As the courtroom emptied, people approached Ethan, shaking his hand, some with tears, others with guilt. But Ethan didn't care for the attention. All he cared about was Liam, who hugged him tight and whispered, "I told you they'd believe you, Daddy." Outside the courthouse, cameras flashed. Reporters shouted questions. The general put a hand on Ethan's shoulder and said, "The world needs more men like you. Humble, brave, real." Ethan smiled. "The world already has too many heroes, sir. What it needs are fathers who never quit." And with that, he lifted Liam onto his shoulders and walked away, not as a man defeated by judgment but as a symbol of quiet strength. Before the scene faded, Ethan turned to the camera, to you, the viewer. His eyes were tired but full of pride. If you've ever been underestimated, if you've ever been mocked for what you've been through, don't give up. Your story's not over. Sometimes, the truth just needs the right person to stand up for it. Hit that like button if you believe real heroes still walk among us, and subscribe if you believe every dad deserves his chance to fight for what matters most. As the music swelled, the final shot showed Ethan and Liam walking into the sunset, metals gleaming softly in the light, no longer symbols of war, but of love, endurance, and truth.